Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another 4chan Stories video, and today we're getting into some weird stories from 4chan, and these stories in this video are weird, and you'll want to stick around. I loved every single story in this video. Super entertaining, super weird, and you'll want to stick around. I appreciate you stopping by. You guys are the best, so please like and subscribe. Join the community. Yeah, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss another video like this. And yeah, sit back, relax, and get ready to listen to some weird stories from 4chan. These stories are the best. And yeah, enough yapping. So without further ado, let's get into some weird stories from 4chan. Anyone else here never had any sort of scary experience at all in their life? Yes. Yeah, actually, I have one from about 2 years ago. Never posted it. Should I? The answer begins with a Y and rhymes with the word yes. Not made up for giggles. This is something that actually happened, and I'm not the only witness. Moved to Sierra Nevadas for college. Before you asked, who in the right mind built a college in the middle of effing nowhere, altitude of 3,000, it's a very small and poor school. Arrived there with basically just a scholarship and the clothes on my back. Still 17, so I had to live at the dorms. Dorms there weren't actually run by the school, but a private company, so they were more like apartments. Shitty, infested, dilapidated apartments, crammed full of students. Me and a bunch of other first-year students arrived several weeks before school starts to get comfortable with our roommates, make friends, etc. One of my roommates is involved with this story. Mexican boy. We'll call him Juan. Juan has a friend who came to this college with him. Polish guy. We'll call him Meat because he was fat. Meat is actually a really cool guy. We go over to his dorm building regularly that summer to hang out and drink. He shares a bedroom with a gay kid I knew in high school, and the other bedroom in his dorm belongs to some kind of reclusive guy. We'll call the gay guy Freddie and the recluse Tyler. Hangouts at their place are nice, but the campus itself is gorgeous and always a huge step up from our shithole rooms, so we often make plans to go out into the forest. Campus has a shit ton of trails that just run off of the school property and deep into the woods. Lovely sights. Lots of rock climbing for me and the boys. All around 10 out of 10 locale. Meat and I go hiking and climbing out there often, but we never take one particular trail because when we tried hiking it one day, it turned out to be very narrow with a massive sheer cliff drop, the kind that makes you nauseous and uneasy just being close to it. Meat invites two friends over one weekend to crash in his living room, and we all booze it up at his place for a couple of nights. Good times had by all. Continue. The second night, Freddie and Meat have the genius idea to haze these two guys by taking them out into the pitch black forest. Frat boys. This sets off alarms for me already because I'm not a effing R word, and this place is ripe for X shenanigans. Maybe I'm too paranoid on account for practically being breastfed on image boards, but this is not the place to drunkenly dick around at night. Literally built on an Indian burial ground for starters. And another thing. The woods directly behind the dorms are too thick and slope-ridden for anyone to traverse, so they're fenced off. Despite this, I had heard strange noises out there while walking nighttime runs to the laundromat, so initially I tell the guys I'm staying at the apartment. But when Fred explains that they'll be taking trails instead of dragging these poor boys into the woods next to us, I decide to tag along. At first, it's a few minutes of lighthearted chatter as we make our way towards campus. Suddenly, a couple others and myself stop dead. Copper and blood smell. Nope. Music. Generic house party music. Someone must be having a good time out here. We all agree to drop the whole hazing thing if we can find the source of the music and meet up with some evidently very party-friendly students. Only one problem. It seems like the music is coming from that inaccessible part of the woods. We spend a couple minutes looking for a viable way around the fence and in the direction of the party, when suddenly it all goes quiet. Then I hear it. Music coming from up the hill, towards the main part of campus with all the buildings. At first the others don't hear it, but once it gets a little louder, they stop questioning me. Who the hell is playing music at school in the dead of night? We reason that we must have heard the reverberations of the song come off the trees, and amble our way up the path to campus. Continue? I'm assuming it's not pre-typed. This'll be a bit. When we crest up the hill, we see that all the lights are off and nobody is in sight. Can't hear music anymore. Now we're confused, a little frustrated, and somewhat intrigued by this strange turn of events. While we're arguing about what to do next, the music picks up again. We all hear it at nearly the same time, and look in the same direction. It's coming from the library across the lake. It's still totally dark in there, but maybe they're having the big bash in the courtyard on the other side. Never underestimate the motivational power held by the prospect of free food. We all sprint around the lake, and when we reach the other side, guess what? It's nothing. Once again, no music. At this point, we're all riled up because we're distinctly hearing these songs come from specific directions, only to find nothing upon investigation. It may not sound that exasperating, but when you experience it in real time, it makes you feel like you're taking crazy pills. Plus, we're extremely far away from where we first heard the music at this point. We couldn't have heard sounds of the library from all the way back at the dorm. The source of the music is moving. We're all pretty spooked by this concept since none of us are drunk enough to ignore what's going on. We start cracking jokes about being in a horror movie and collectively agree to go home. Suddenly, chaos. I start hearing the music from back by the first building. Juan hears it too. Meat hears it coming from another building in the other direction, but one of his friends says he hears it in the distance up another hill. We scatter. Some of us take off towards the sounds we hear, others are trying not to get separated. I'm hell-bent on finding whatever is causing this. I'll spare you the details, but this goes on for at least another 10 minutes. Just us making a beeline for wherever we hear the song playing before it suddenly pops up somewhere else. Eventually, we all reconvene, partially because we want to stick together, but mostly because we're all hearing it come from the same general area now. I still remember this moment so effing distinctly. We all gathered up and ran uphill towards the music, and this time I could make out what was actually playing. It was Journey. Go figure. We're all hyper and shaken from this strange midnight adventure, but that's part of what convinces us to go further and find an answer. Make our way back to the end of campus. Music appears to be coming from one of the trails that leads off into the woods. You know now that I actually say that, I realize we really were our words. The trail doesn't actually reach us, instead running all the way back up towards the dorm parking lot. We have to walk across a drainage pipe over a large drop to cross over onto it, unless we want to double back and start over from the very beginning of the trail at the lot. It's not the kind of fall that would kill you, but the kind that would still F you up. We gingerly cross the pipe single file. Once on the trail, we quickly find ourselves devoid of moonlight, the trees hanging above, leaving us in total darkness. We break out our phones and advance by flashlight into the darkness to the tune of Any Way You Want It. We hike for a while. Meats and I are up front. His friends are giggling like schoolgirls, each of them too afraid to be the guy in back who gets left behind and picked off. We all stop moving again when Meat and I notice something. A small wooden bridge running over a creek to our left. As unsettling as it looks in the dark, we're not bothered because of the gloom. It's because we recognize this spot. We're on our way to the cliff. Fred cracks a joke about how we are going to bring the other two out here for hazing anyway. I think he just wanted to take the edge off. Me and I tell him that we shouldn't be bringing people out here in the dark, and that we're going home soon. Keep going, I'm enjoying this. I second this, go on bruv. Why the fuck would you guys go towards the sound of Journey? Fuck Anon, I'm hooked. Keep going. The music is still playing, clearer than ever before, not too far away and completely uninterrupted. We all know we couldn't have heard this back at the start of our trek. Doesn't matter, we continue. Our lights are pointed at our feet, and we watch each step as we take the path narrows, and then we find it. At first, I miss it completely and keep walking, but some of the other guys behind me hit it with their lights and we all stopped. It's a cave. Not the type of rocky overhang cave with levels of footing you imagine when you think of a cave. It descends at a steep angle into the cliff wall to our left. Supposedly there is water down there, as the creek runs into the mountainside. But that's not the sound of water coming from in the cave. That's Journey. This is where we all draw the line. I say, well, there's our proof, guys. There's no way there are people down there. Whatever's inside, it's not a party. We have no guns. Hell, I'm pretty sure none of us brought knives. Even as a group, we are completely helpless to tangle with whatever was out there. Juan is visibly shaken. You people do whatever you want, but I'm getting the fuck out of here. Who's with me? Everyone is with you, Juan. Fred and I light up the path behind us as we all return the way we came, huddled close and a lot less jovial than before. Occasional remarks akin to, "What was that?" plague our return, but we make it back to the lot without incident. Call it a night. Play Vidya and go the fuck to sleep. Sorry for not pre-typing, but believe me, shit hasn't even started yet. The next morning, the consensus among the group is that what we experienced has no logical, natural explanation. What happened that night simply couldn't be explained by anything conventional. This really bothers me because at this point in my life, I'm a staunch believer of what is widely accepted as fact. The supernatural is largely out of the question. That changes soon. A few days after Meet's friends go home, I went for an afternoon walk in the woods while reading. Wasn't paying attention to my surroundings. I was just wandering around while I studied for an upcoming English course. Before too long, I find myself on that trail. I decide that, since it's daylight and there's nothing unusual going on, I should investigate. Walk a ways down the path, past the drainage pipe, into the trees, past the bridge, to the cave. Wait. My face when there is no cave. I don't care if this sounds uncreative or you think it's total bullshit. There was no cave. I look around for the massive hole in the cliffside that myself and 6 other nearly sober men saw just a few nights ago, pacing back and forth across this one stretch of trail for several minutes like a moron. Nothing. I go back to the dorms to break the astonishing news to my colleagues. Juan wants nothing to do with it. I bring up the cave and he instantly tells me not to bother him about it. The more I press him, the more upset he gets. He's clearly terrified, so I give up on him. Go to Fred's dorm instead. Him and Mead are in the living room. Tyler is shut up in his room on the computer. Bet you forgot about Tyler. You'd be forgiven for forgetting about Tyler, but you sure as well won't forget about Tyler again. I probably never will. Tell the other 2 about the vanishing cave. Apparently, I roll a nat 20 on the persuasion check because they actually believe me. We brainstorm over burgers and decide that we're all going back there with knives, boots, and full phone batteries to look for the cave at night since it's not there during the day. The next night, I meet them at their dorm for dinner. Fred and Meat have brought Tyler up to speed and convinced him to come with. We scarf down our dinner, throw back a shot, and march out onto the lot. It's not quite as late this time, but the sun has still long since set. It's about 10 p.m. when we begin our hike. And of course, as soon as we're on the trail, music. Meat's friends were honestly the life of the party. We're a lot more serious and somber this time. I take the front while Fred keeps an eye behind. Don't Stop Believing serenading us as we trek further in. Past the pipe, into the trees, past the bridge, we stop. This was a terrible idea. Meat and I look at each other. I think I see tears welling up in his eyes. I can feel hair stand up on the back of my neck. We're all scared stiff, shooting our lights at every shadow in our periphery. We never clammed up like this before. What's the problem? I tell you the problem. There's no music. It's dead quiet out here. Like the noise just faded away into silence. Now shit hits the fucking fan. Meat's phone suddenly dies from 98% battery. Lights out. Oh fuck no. We all turn around to run back. From what had to have been a mere couple meters behind us, music blasting at max volume. Instantly, we're running full tilt. Freddy takes off like Usain Bolt. I was in the back, but I overtake Tyler and Meat within seconds. You know that phrase they use with bears or bulls or whatever? I don't have to outrun it. I just have to outrun you. It's a total joke. I didn't feel any safer being ahead of those 2. Careen past the bridge, out the trees, past the pipe. Thud. Turn around. Meat has completely face-planted on the trail a few yards back, cleanly illuminated by moonlight. Cliche dodge here. I don't see some unholy beast tailing us as I look behind him. Music is still loud and close, but all I see is Tyler bringing up the rear at a sprint. He runs clean past Meat, doesn't turn in my direction. Sprints right across the pipe and out of sight. Dude, no, what the hell are you doing? Meat is no slouch. He picks himself up almost instantly and is on my heels within seconds. We blast the rest of the way back, and soon we catch Freddy up on the way to the lot, catch our breath under a street light. With a few students hanging around outside and no music, we feel safe enough to stand there for a while and collect our thoughts. We're all terrified, but we're not recounting events differently. We know what happened. Nobody saw anything, but what we heard was enough. Something unnatural was going on out there, and it wasn't our friend. Speaking of our friend, where's Tyler? Yeah, it's one of those stories. Really wish it wasn't. I tell Freddy what happened, and we all agree to wait in the lot for Tyler to get back. A couple minutes later, we see him walking up the road back to us from the direction of the campus. He's greeted with smiles and sighs of relief, and we all head back to the dorm. His story is the same as ours. Didn't see anything, just ran back to the parking lot from campus after he crossed the drainage pipe. And so I thought the story ended. My first and only experience with the unexplainable, forever changing my views on what is and is not plausible. That night, I go home to my dorm and do my best to rest. Definitely not telling Juan about this. Definitely telling everyone else, though. It becomes a great party story, especially after me and I buddy up and start frequenting these same places, since I have someone to corroborate my every detail. But unfortunately, things don't stay so lighthearted. The first red flag I notice is Freddie. Less than a month after that night, he just packs his shit and leaves the dorms for good. Paid a huge sum just to go back on his lease and everything. I saw very little of him, but once I did catch him on one of his trips to the dorms, I asked him why he was doing all this. I mean, paying all this money and moving all of his stuff into this apartment, only to move it all the way back out 2 months later sounded stupid. He was really dodgy with me, barely spoke at all. Just said that it was what he needed to do and kept packing. I'd still frequent Meat's place after that, and even started crashing on Fred's old bed once Juan proved to be a terrible roommate. Barely ever saw Tyler. Pretty sure I can count on one hand the number of times I spotted him, and I probably only need about 2 hands to count the number of words he spoke total. I focused on my studies mostly, so I wasn't really aware of what was going on with the others. Damn, this is good. I'm glad you guys like it. I'll continue in the morning. This was draining as shit, and I think girlfriend is a little cranky. I spent 4 hours on a Mongolian basket weaving for him today. We'll update ASAP. Dude, no. Finish this shit. Fuck you. The thread will he close by tomorrow. You baited us with the Tyler Bean BBN unforgettable part. Finish it. Unless it's a fake story and you can't think of an ending. In that case, don't bother. Bruh, just chill and wait till tomorrow like the rest of us. That feeling when Anon doesn't deliver? Well, thread's not closed. Also, I don't have to think up the ending because the ending was this week, LMAO. When our first semester ended, I moved out of my old dorm and in with Meat and Tyler. Coming back from vacation, I found the place to be a total pigsty. Meat didn't get back until a few days after I did, but from what I could tell, Tyler never left. That's not unusual though. Some students stayed in the dorms. I just noted it at the time because his parents were only a couple hours away by car. Speaking of his parents, I met them a couple months after moving. Mom and dad are still together. Nice people. Were very polite with me. When they came to visit, they talked to Tyler in his room for a while. I didn't snoop for obvious reasons. With the benefit of hindsight, I think they were concerned about him. He smelled really bad. Not copper and blood, but I'm pretty certain he just never washed. He also stopped attending his classes, so it makes sense that they were getting nervous. He was going full neat. Every time I try to make conversation with him, he gives a response that sounds like Siri attempting small talk. Just so devastatingly awkward that I don't even know how to reply. So Meat and I continue with our routines, and between the gym, our classes, and various house parties, him and I stay pretty occupied, and Tyler has the dorm largely to himself. We both make jokes about how unusually he behaves. One day, we do a potluck with our neighbors. The apartment next door is a girls' dorm, 2 fatties and 2 8 out of 10s. We had been hanging out with them periodically, and they were pretty nice to us, so when they offered to do a potluck with us, me and I were actually put some effort into whipping up some good food. At one point in the planning stage, one of them mentions to Meat that we should bring Tyler. I did not find this out until the day of. It was a good time, but Tyler acted so bizarrely that even our neighbors were talking about it. Never brought any food. Wolfed down 2 plates of food before most of us had even touched ours. Walks out the door within 30 minutes of arriving without saying anything to anyone, presumably back to his bedroom. Before he bailed, we took a group picture on one of the girls' Polaroids. We're all sat around the table and giving the camera our best smile. Except Tyler, of course. I don't remember whose camera it was, but I'm still on good terms with one of the girls, so I'll ask her if she has it. Fingers crossed she does, so I can post a picture of the Polaroid for you guys. We gossip about Tyler being impressively rude for a little, but mostly just wanted to enjoy the potluck that night. Afterwards, I had a quick little chat with Meat in the lot, and we both agreed not to bring Tyler anywhere anymore. At this point, I'm still writing him off as a R word. I'm not easy to convince yourself something supernatural is going on when these events are spaced out by several months. One night, I'm telling my too spooky story at a house party to a few people, including a guy named David. I'm fine with using his real name because he's not closely tied to the story, and we would later become good friends. David isn't a student, but he throws great parties, and he knows a lot of my college since nearly everyone that frequents his place goes there. He brings up Native American lore regarding cryptids in our area. Says there are supposedly creatures that lure you to your death using near perfect imitation, and that there must be one in the woods that has listened to plenty of party music. Of course, I know what he's talking about, so I get to chatting with him about skinwalkers, and with his help, I tell the Anansi Goatman story to a small crowd of buzzed college kids. It was lots of fun, but when Meat heard what we were talking about, he apparently started thinking a little too hard. After driving me home, he starts saying we needed to have a talk. We get into our apartment. Meat says to check on Tyler and see if he's awake. I open the door to his room. He's not even here. All I see is copious amounts of garbage piled up on his floor. Room smells like a trash can, so I close the door. Tell Meat he's not home. We both take a seat in the living room, and Meat starts talking. That stuff you're talking about tonight kind of reminds me of Tyler. His tone is somewhat humorous, but I can tell us both tensing up. I ask him what he means. The stuff you and David were telling stories about, you know how it pretended to be someone that it killed, and it acted all unnerving and smelled really bad? Oh yeah, that. Those things are crazy sounding, aren't they? Why am I avoiding saying the word? Yeah, I mean, just saying, what if our roommate's been replaced with like one of those laughs? Why is he avoiding saying the word? You think Tyler is a skinwalker? Roughly 7 or 8 seconds of silence. The front doorknob starts turning. Me and I both scream and jump back from the entryway. Like not 5-year-old girl screams, but still grown-ass men screaming over a doorknob. Tyler walks in, both of us wide-eyed seeing him as he steps in the doorway. What? I'll go on record saying that what I did here was probably my one big mistake. I could have been spared a lot of trouble if I just shut my mouth. After a couple seconds of standing there, sizing up Tyler, Meat and I both relax and start laughing a little. We were just talking about that scary shit we saw in the woods way back when we were moving in, you know? We were thinking about maybe it was this Native American legend, a skinwalker. They can pretend to be people. So we were joking about it, pretending to be you, and then boom, you walk through the door, scared the shit out of us. Me and I are laughing pretty heartily now. At the time, I just felt like we were being idiots, and coming clean was the best way to diffuse the situation. It was not. Tyler just gives us a little chuckle and goes to his bedroom. Me and I continue to joke about it that night as we head to bed. I can't sleep. Too nervous, keep thinking about how much sense this skinwalker theory makes. Lock the bedroom door and window. Stay up for a few hours on my phone until exhaustion wins. Days pass. Never see Tyler. Don't want to. Never peer around the back end of the apartment to his bedroom because I have zero interest in seeing anything I'm not currently seeing. Rarely spend time in the dorm when I'm not asleep. Keep locking up every night. One night, I'm dozing off and I hear someone try and open my door. Locked, of course. Then knocking, and Tyler saying, "Hey, are you in there?" I'm not sure who he's addressing, but Meat is fast asleep and snoring. Grab my knife. Yeah? Hey, can I have your help with... I honest to God don't remember what he asked for help with, only that I didn't believe him for a second. No, it's late. I'm going to bed. Complete bullshit. I'm not sleeping tonight. Hear him walk back to his room. A couple more days pass. I'm always on edge and I never sleep soundly. 9 days after the first attempt, Tyler tries to open my door at nearly 2 in the morning. What do you want? My face when he doesn't even say anything and just walks away. My face when I have no face. Another sleepless night. Decide to tell Meat when he wakes up that Tyler keeps trying to get into our room at night. We're both on the same page at this point, but neither of us want to confront him. We don't really have anything to demand of him that warrants a serious confrontation. We're both a little unnerved and, at the thought of telling him, we're spooked by his behavior. I let my landlord know that I need to move to a different building. Meat starts talking to his parents about living with them for the rest of the school year. Waiting is the worst part. Landlord says in 5 weeks they can have a room available for me a few buildings down. 5 weeks of no sleep, full Jordan Peterson mode. Every night I lock up and get about 3 hours of sleep once exhaustion beats out of my paranoia. Except one of the nights he tries opening my door. Then I don't sleep. Grades stagger when I start finding it harder to study with a fried brain. Start sleeping on campus. Get kicked out of library for sleeping past closing hour. Can't sleep outside at night. Can't sleep indoors at night. Go nocturnal against my own will. Start chronically missing classes. Grades get worse. Consider asking friends for a place to crash, but nobody in this town has known me for more than a few months. Long as 5 weeks of my life. The last 2 weeks were even worse because Meats had convinced his mom to let him move in for a while. A couple nights each week, Tyler would run the same routine. Try my doorknob. What do you want? Turn 360 and walk away. He'd be facing the same direction, but go on. Repeatedly bumps into the door like broken NPC. Damn, sorry for doubting you, Anon. You answered the call of duty and beyond. Write the rest of it, please. Real damn interesting stuff. A couple nights before I was set to move, I had most everything in bags and boxes. Even my bed was stripped, and I was just sleeping on a mattress with a cheap topper. Midnight comes and goes, and once again, he's at my door trying to get in. Grow a pair and actually confront him. Why the fuck are you always trying to get in here? Hear him walk back to his room. Now I'm also pissed. Wait till sun comes up. Knock on his door. Keep knocking until he comes out. Why do you keep trying to get into my room? That shit is disturbing. He just stares. You're being fucking weird, dude. Stop trying to get into my room. He closes the door. Don't see him for the rest of the day. Still tries my door that night. Tell him to go away. He doesn't. Yell at him. Hey, cut it out. Fucker yells back. No words, just yells. Doesn't go on for long, but it's long enough to convince me he's fucking nuts. For what it's worth, throughout all of this, he never tries more than once per night to my knowledge. I almost wonder if he's a sleepwalker. I pack my shit and change buildings. Just want to get a proper night's sleep for once. Rest of the year goes fine. New dorm is full of spiders, but I'll take that over demented roommates any day. Never encountered Tyler at all. Basically put the whole thing behind me and forget about it. Leave for the summer. Come back into the mountains that fall to finish my degree. Things go good for months until chickenpox hits and the campus shuts down. Also, landlord starts running cover for meth dealers. Start realizing I hate the place, so I decided to move a few hours north, closer to civilization with my girlfriend. Made the move back in April 2020. Haven't seen Tyler since the end of winter 2019. Here's why I posted yesterday. Last week, YouTuber announced a scary story compilation, so I was racking my brain for all the details about the strange night out in the woods. Decided to try and look up my old roommates. Spend an hour or two each day just casually combing for info. Didn't get anything at first. Yesterday, I tried Tyler's last name and the county he's from. Got something. His mother. Found her on the missing person search. I never knew her first name, but I recognized Tyler's last name in her face. It was a little disturbing at first, but I've gotten a good night's rest and I'm feeling fine now. Kind of fucked up to think that maybe something got her son. And now apparently her. Maybe he's just a recluse and something tragic happened to her, but I still don't have any explanation for what we encountered out in those woods. Sorry if this was anticlimactic. Never had some K-style shout-out with a screaming goat man. Just really convinced that something fucked up happened to a guy I met. Who knows? Fuck. Thanks for the wrap-up. Any info on his dad? No, his dad isn't in anything I've seen. I don't remember his first name either, but Tyler's mom is the only person that comes up from their last name search in that area. Nice one, Anon. Weird story. Fuck it, I'll go. Background. Be 23-year-old Southerner. Depressed, existentially miserable, often S-word but still kicking. Raised Christian but totally atheist. Material universe is all. Also well-practiced lucid dreamer, like good at it. Can fly, teleport, summon people and objects, disintegrate dream characters with a thought, surf rooftops down the street, punch bears with Richard Nixon, escape my own crucifixion, make DRM pepper the most volatile explosive in the world, all kinds of shit. Be me. Wake up in bed. Check phone. The time is 1:20. Check it again. It's now 3:50. You're dreaming. Get out of bed, walk to bookshelf, observe. The titles go all wonky, like a broken digital clock. Glitching out. Normal for dreams. Your subconscious is shit at two things, among others: linear time and written text. Later, I thought about the number of times I've started a dream, in the same place my actual physical body's sleeping. I can count on one hand. I've heard in some cultures this is a sign of being approached by, well, something. Your subconscious sucks with abstracts. Lookout window. Sky is the same burnt hellish orange color my lucid sky always has. Like sunset, but it's false light. Settled into dream body. Being walking to bedroom door. Using door as loading screen. Anywhere I want to go is on the other side of that door. Want to go to a hotel? I have a dream hotel that has lots of doors and characters, and is in general really swanky. Hotel lobby clearly in mind. I'm going there. Open door. It's my living room. Everything is oddly normal. Looks like real life. Mild confusion. Must have not concentrated rights even though I had it pretty tight. Walk through house to front door. Still thinking hotel. Extra double focus now. Open door. It's my neighborhood. Confused. Figure I can't teleport for some reason. Guess I'll fly and see what my subconscious will make out of it. Can't fly now either. Can levitate, maybe 6 inches off the ground. Every time I start moving, I stumble to the ground when I get moving faster than I walk. And it's fucking deserted. My dreams always have characters. There's no one. Neighborhood looks real. As I'm float tripping down to the end of the street. Get to the end of the street. Mildly frustrated. It's a T intersection. Look left. Look right. There's a person. Blurry, like they're farther away than they are. Out of place with the surroundings. Space is a fiction in dreams anyway. Whatever. Nothing else to do. Head towards them. Sure, but I'd rather do things I can't do in reality. Get closer. Stumble final time. Can't even float. Person coming in clear view. It's a woman. Blonde, about my height. Black shirt, blue skirt. Still looks distorted. Can't make out features beyond color. Walk closer. The sky turns blue. That's a first. Either I'm asleep and not noting the strangeness of the sky, or I'm lucid and it's burnt hell orange. Less mild confusion, but I can see her now. And I've got my tactile pants-shitting priorities pretty well in hand. She looks exactly like me, but female? Blonde hair, blue eyes, my height, black t-shirt has a star on it, like a pentagram, but too many points, etched in purple. Blue jean skirt. Eyes are fucking sharp. Makes me want to wince looking into them. Something's off looking at her. Like there's something standing behind her. Like I'm walking up to a sheer mountainside, not a person. She's blurry and too angular at the same time, despite looking physically like a human. I'm frustrated by this point. Powerless. Wondering what the fuck my brain is doing. What's this then? You called. Here I am. New accent. Never heard that. Can't describe it. Stress on the wrong syllable, but clear and commanding. Feel an invasion in my head as she says this. Feels like she just scanned my brain like a dictionary and pulled the words she wanted. I can make dream characters say what I want. They say what I expect them to say. This wasn't that. I didn't call anyone. What the fuck do you mean? She repeats herself. No invasion. At the time, wasn't thinking of the depressed S-word atheist prayer of if there's something out there, if this is for something, I need to know because I can't do this much longer. Never worded, just emotion sent into nothingness, I thought. I didn't summon anything. I was trying to go somewhere. I'm not from around here. New word, same pulling feeling. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not from around here. Get what she's saying. Oh, you're not from my head. You are from my head. You're me. You know damn well we don't believe in any of that bullshit. Talk shit, Alt. In hindsight, I really should have automatically woken up. Talking to the dream about the fact is the dream makes it unstable usually, at least makes it start changing. We're just talking. She's still saying she isn't from around here. She's from somewhere else. Prove it then. Prove you're not me. I know you can't. You aren't ready. I start talking mad shit pulled straight from TV tropes. This just a form I'm comfortable with, huh? Let me guess. I'd go mad from the revelation. You're actually a humanoid abomination. Your very existence is things man was not meant to know, right? She smirks. You have it exactly. I was feeling strange despite blustering, in addition to what I've already said. She's putting off an aura of pure threat, like an animal that could kill you by accident if it moves carelessly. She's also completely irresistible, despite putting off the strongest uncanny valley I've ever seen. Keep demanding that she prove it, simultaneously trying my normal shit. Try making her face change, make her disappear, make her burst into flames, make her say what I want. Anything I can usually do. That won't work. I'm not from around here. This bitch. Tell her I don't believe her, that I don't believe any of that, and that if my subconscious has a message for me, it needs to just say it. What's your judgment take on humanity? This throws me way off. My dream characters don't talk about abstracts at all. Humanity? That's a weighted, interconnected subject. I tell her what I think. My opinions are mixed, to say the least. She smirks again. No humor in it. Sharp. Alluring. Pitiless. What do you think of causality? What the fuck? Tell her I could get a lot more done without it, but that it makes sense why it's a law since people can't function without it. Now she giggles. Confused and scared, dream boner. Go back to demanding proof. She changes the topic and asks a question every time. Asks about my thoughts on history. Asks me who I've loved and what happened with them. Asks about my ideal society. Asks how I feel about death, destruction, and war. I've never had a dream conversation like this. She's saying less than me, but meaning more. She's entrancing, and I can't help but enjoy it. I can't help but feel like maybe she is something else. Over my dead body will I admit that. Demand proof a final time. She says she needs something from me first. Shoot, I know you're not real. What could you want? She searches my language again. Worse than before. Like she went through everything. Antichrist. That's not what it is, of course, but it's the closest word you have. I realize what she's asking and am now convinced that all this was just an overly elaborate and creatively creepy wet dream scenario. Let's make a deal. Make it clear she's going to prove it if I give her what she's asking. Affirmative. But we have to do it in a specific place. Okay. We move. The scene shifts. What I tried to do at the start of the dream, she does effortlessly. Vague sinking feeling that this wasn't my dream to start with. We're in the backyard of my childhood home. Oh fuck. My first nightmare was in that dreamscape. 2 years old. Whole family eaten by alligators at my birthday party while a clown saved me from them. I saw it all. 2 years old. My first nightmare. And my very first clear memory. My own subconscious has never taken me back there. Never. I know she's telling the truth. She's smiling and lays down on the grass. I'm shitting bricks, but no, I can't back out. Fuck. Like fucking the concept of fucking. It's awesome, but I'm getting feedback off of her. Ride the lightning. Finish. I know I finished. I felt it, clearly. That's important for later. I get up. She sits up, smiling for real for the first time. Now see me. And see what we've guaranteed for them. The veil drops. Everything is gone in an instant. What I felt behind her, it wasn't a feeling. It's here and it's her without the glamour. I'm engulfed by it in literally no time. Feels like my brainstem is cut. Like I must fall to my knees. I have no knees to fall to or ground to put them on. There's just it. It is big, bigger than the night sky you look up, and bigger than any concept of big you have, bigger than the universe, easily. And that's bigger than we can really grasp already. Big in dimensions that don't exist, full spectrum and anti-spectrum large, agony seeing it, cannot be. Needless to say, it wouldn't fit in my brain and my subconscious couldn't think that up. It's fucking loud, in every sense of the word. Every sense I have, and a lot that I never had before. This thing is broadcasting its being at it. Not making the noise, just is the noise. It feels old. Feels like time is nothing to it. For that moment, I am it. Or rather, an indefinitely minuscule thought within its mind. Time isn't a thing for it. Time is just for us. It feels different. There's nothing human or material in its pattern. It's indescribable, utterly. It just is. Not good or evil, not by our definition. Would an ant be able to judge the boot that crushes it? It's like staring into an eternal, infinitely scaled nuclear explosion and just taking it to the face. Forever. It tells me in pure meaning, not a language. You're here until I let you go. And I witnessed. And I don't know how long I was there. Eternity is just a moment. Linear time makes our lives more structured than you could possibly imagine. It has a color. It's every color. But there's something that them all mixing creates. I'll call it light dark purple. It's not purple, but it's the closest color we have. I'm screaming, or would, but I'm just a thought being ruminated by what at this point I acknowledge as either a god or God. No frame of reference for that. It lets me go. I rocket up in my bed, gasping for air like a newborn baby. My pulse racing at easily 130 beats per minute in cold sweat and no jizz in my pants. She actually took it. Fucking eldritch abomination is the first words out of my mouth. Like that's what Lovecraft meant. Thoughts racing. Was that the horror of Babylon, or what the fuck was that? What the fuck? Repression. Nobody wants a psychotic break before breakfast. Must have been sleep paralysis or night terrors. I've had both. I know damn well it wasn't that. Repress the dream for 6 months until something happens that forces me to look at it and accept that. Yeah, I met something. And then I started digging and found who I met. As soon as I read the first thing about her, I knew who she was. The mythology matched her actual attitude. I could go on from here, but she connects everything. She's been with us since prehistory. She's been in the background of Western civilization's development at every crucial junction. Her symbolism matches Jesus's, Holy Spirit, Mother, I know what I meant. And I'm here to see what I guaranteed for us. I'll suffer it with y'all. Let me know if you want to hear the research portion. That's the dream. So when I admitted it and started looking, I started off with Greek dream deities because she came in a dream, right? Nothing stood out to me. Then I thought she was very stereotypical, intentionally maybe. Or perhaps the Lovecraft tropes go way further back than we think. So I thought, if this was a movie, or dream, where should I be looking? Mesopotamia, duh. So I find Inna within 10 minutes and recognize her within the first paragraph of her Wikipedia article. Then I follow the synchromemes and realize she's fucking everywhere. When the first empires rose, she was elevated to the top of their pantheon despite them being macho pure man sauce incarnate. The Assyrians, based brutal bastards, left her. When Sulla became the first Roman general to march on his own city, Venus, her in the right background in his own words, giving her the credit for his fortune. Caesar and Augustus straight up claimed descent from her. Jupiter was the high god, but who did the shit on the ground? Too many points on the star. She has an 8-pointed star as her primary symbol for a time. Her other original symbol? Dove. What did the Holy Spirit come down on Christ as? Everywhere. I see her everywhere in the story. Seek and ye shall find. The Egyptians called her Ai. I learned the true name of God via trickery. Earlier, Ishtar made civilization her domain after winning the mess from Enki. She failed at conquering the underworld, but made it out with the water of life after 3 days of death. What did Christ do? He conquered hell and freed the righteous that died before him, and prepared a place for the righteous to come. Like mother, like son. Her shtick was literally running up on other gods and stealing their responsibility, and enforcing divine justice. Maybe the shift from polytheism to stated monotheism wasn't just cultural development. Maybe there really was a war going on. Maybe there still is. Conjecture. But I know she's real, and I know she asked me my judgment. And I found 3 others asked the same question by the same thing. One dude was literally crazy homeless. Thank God for my resiliency, that could have been me. All answered the same as me. Iron Age collapse coming, folks. And they fucking deserve it. The rulers, I mean. The only question is, what did I give her? Is the child literal? Figurative? Am I supposed to play a larger role or just bear witness to all who will hear it? I'll find out, I guess. If anyone meets my child, tell him I love him. I had nothing but good vibes about the Antichrist at the time of the dream, thought he would unite humanity and enforce the perfect balance of justice and mercy, freedom and duty. These days, the closest words I have are last Roman emperor, as in the medieval myth. After the dream, I've been a completely different person. Depression is gone, still get sad but never falter under it. Existential dread is gone because I've been home. I know what's outside of this. What should I worry about? I'm just a dream character in the mind of the most terribly awesome thing, the only thing that truly exists. It made me change the way I look at everything. She saved me. That's the main reason I don't think she's evil or malignant. I've had nothing but good come from it, and the wages of sin is death. She woke me from the dead, honestly. Let me in, gatekeeper. Let me in, or I will topper the doors and shatter the bolt. Let me in, or I will raise the dead to eat the living, and the dead will outnumber the living. When I was SHing back before all this, I carved an 8-pointed star on my bicep. No reason beyond the shape besides maybe Warhammer, but that was a retroactive justification. And then it turns out that's her symbol? Oh, and check out her flood myth. She was in the oldest recorded one. She was the one that made the covenant. She's been related to too many powerful empires that defined eras. The mythology from Iona all the way up to the Holy Spirit/Sophia makes too much continuous casual sense. When possessing the small piece of knowledge that she actually exists, we're in the middle of a game surrounded by things that play by different rules, and they judged us by a jury of our peers 3 years ago. I, for one, eagerly await our coming trial by fire. May the wheat be separated from the chaff, and may fire fall on the unjust and manna on the meek and humble. May a true order rise from the ruination of the corruption that rules with us now, and may the human spirit be freed from the chains we bound ourselves in. At the words of the enemy. Oh, and read the Thunder Perfect Mind if you haven't. Fun little Gnostic text. And I don't know if you guys enjoyed that at all, but that definitely fits the title of this video, Weird 4chan Stories, because that was a weird dream that guy had. and he went deep into the research. I don't know if you guys will like that one. I don't know if everyone in the video just clicked off because that was just such a, word vomit of just stuff and weird philosophical stuff. But for some reason, I thought it was interesting. It was definitely weird, but that's the title of the video. That's what you guys clicked on this video for. But comment down below what you thought about that dream. Do you think he's onto something, or do you think he's just schizo or crazy or anything else that he might be? Because that was a lot of red strings on a board, if you know what I mean. Just kind of connecting dots that might not be dots at all. And yeah, that was interesting. That was weird. Comment down below if you think that guy's onto anything or he's just, a little cuckoo. On to the next one. Sure, I don't feel like sleeping tonight anyways. Green texting to shorten it some. Be around November of last year. Washington State. New to the area. Like the woods. So a few friends of mine that are huge in wood fiends decide to take me out on a secluded as hell spot. What the hell? I'll do it. Need some time away from work. Get the weekend off, pack my bag, clean the rifle, and head over to my friend's house. End up around 25 or 30 miles from the Canadian border in this forest that just goes on forever. I'm really digging it because my home state doesn't have shit like this. There's 6 of us and 2 dogs, a Labrador and a Rottweiler. Each person also has either a hunting rifle or shotgun with a handgun, except me. Park cars on this tiny ass game warden or border patrol dirt road and hike about 4 miles into the woods. By this time, it's already starting to get a little dark, so we decide to build a fire right off so we can set up our tents. 2 of the group and 1 of the dogs go out to gather wood, while the rest of us start setting up the tents. One of these huge siding 6 to 8 person ones. November gets cold up here. Tents set up in about 15 minutes, and the trio still aren't back yet. What the fuck? Must be fucking LOL. So we just say screw it and start one from our branches from around the site. Start hearing crashing noises headed our way, like someone running their asses off. The 2 guys come barreling through, wide-eyed as fuck. The dog ain't nowhere to be seen. They start yammering on about seeing one of the other guys out in the woods acting weird, so they started trying to get close, and every time they'd get close enough, he would move away. Said at one point he disappeared, then popped up not 10 feet behind them. Also mentioned a really bad rotten meat and spoiled milk smell popping up around them. Tried asking what was up, no answer. Then apparently he took off just sprinting like Usain Bolt into the woods. Dog takes off after him barking his head off, and 2 dudes take off after the dog. Lose both the guy and the dog pretty soon, and the smell starts disappearing as well. Far off, hear a weird screeching followed by a really loud dog's yelp. Then the smell comes back with a vengeance. This time with that, they described as mad giggling. They nope the fuck out of there and back to the camp. They get really pissed at the dude. All of us that were there vouch for the guy, so pretty soon we're all weirded out, but think it's a really fucked up joke. I say as much, and I get yelled at. Then have, well, where the fuck is the dog then, tossed at me? Fuck, good point. At this point, though, the sun was already well on its way down, so we build the fire up and bring out some Coleman lanterns as well. All of us are huddled around the fire, eating MREs, and the guns are at hand. About 15 minutes after dark, the remaining dog, the Rottweiler, kind of perks up and starts growling. And I mean that really fucking aggressive growl. Smell pops up, and the guys were not wrong about the smell. I have smelled rotten deer carcasses that smelled fresher. Weird groaning start up, and you can hear branches and leaves crackling out around the perimeter of our camp. Noping intensifies all around. The dog is going ballistic, so one of the guys with a shotgun, let's call him Greg, stands up and fires off 3 rounds of buckshot into the woods. This hellish screech comes from the woods and starts moving away from us fast as hell, and the smell goes as well. We waited about an hour, then decide to try and get some sleep with 2 people on guard at all times. First watches me, and another of the guys, Victor. The dog is chilling around the fire as well. 2 hours up. Nothing. Wake up Greg and Tom from their turn. Asleep for a little. Then wake up to that smell and Greg yelling his head off. So we get up and head outside. Greg is looking around the edge of the woods with a spotlight and calling out Tom's name. Ask what happened. They'd been sitting there when they heard one of the guys from earlier calling out from the woods. The dog starts growling and rushed to the spot, and Tom followed him after. Dog has went through some bushes and he lost him, so Tom followed him into the woods. Greg had been yelling for him when he heard Tom begin to say something before he was cut off. Shit, can't leave him out there. So we all put on some clothes, grab a flashlight or spot for each person and our guns and head out. By this time, the smell was everywhere, and it was making most of us rather nauseous. But we kept going because we wanted to find Tom, find some of his tracks, but lose the trail when they stop. Literally no other footprints after a while, and none leading back the way he'd come. One of the guys in the back is shining his light around, kind of stops and makes an oh shit noise, then starts yelling, "You fucking dick, we've been worried sick about you." Rest of group walks over to look, and there's Tom standing a good 20 feet away, but he's standing all wrong. You okay, buddy? You need some help?" Just stands there deadpan, then slowly nods yes. A few of us walk over and put an arm around his shoulders to kind of support him. Notice he reeks. "What the fuck, dude? We haven't even been out here for a full day, lol." Laughs abound, except from him. Think nothing of it, except worry that maybe he fell and hit his head. Back at camp, try and lay him down, but he just refuses to, so we let him stay outside of the fire. A couple of us go to sleep, but Greg, Vic, and I decide to stay up to keep an eye on Tom. Watching him, he does a weird jerk/muscle spasm thing every now and then. Creepy shit, but I think it might be something serious. He's mostly quiet, slow to respond to things, until it comes to food. We give him an MRE to eat, and he only eats the meat out of them, shrug it off as whatever. Then he gets up and starts moving around all jerky-like, looking towards the woods. He asks us if we want to come into the woods with him for firewood, besides the fact that it's pitch black out. Besides the fire and the huge stack of firewood we collected on the way back, not all that weird. Jerks something like a shrug before walking weirdly into the woods. At this point, we're on guard and don't try to stop him. Greg gets up a few minutes later to step into the tent for something, and I'm outside with Vic when the smell hits my nose like a ton of bricks and I gag hard. Then I start hearing gibbering and giggling. I've never been more freaked out in my life, and you can tell that Vic is feeling the same. Greg comes out in time to hear it really well, then goes inside to wake everyone up. He freezes at the tent flap, then starts cursing, which wakes everyone up. Don't know why he's cursing, but it's working. When they're all up and awake, he counts everyone, and you can see him turn white. "What's up, dude?" Apparently, while he was inside, he did a quick body count, and there was 4 bodies inside. Someone or something had been chilling in our motherfucking tent without us realizing it had gotten in. Shipwrecks and shit them hard. Then everyone starts asking where Tom is. At this time, the gibbering gets louder, and you can hear a bunch of shit moving through the woods. We hear Tom's voice calling for us from the woods to come help him, but it's all off key, and every now and then, he'd start giggling. We build the fire up and sit around it with the lanterns on full, weapons at hand with the sun starts coming up. Soon as it's up enough to see, we put the fire out, pack our stuff up, and make for the vehicles. On the path back, we find the 2 dogs. One impaled on a snapped pine, the other one with its neck snapped and twisted around. We start hearing the giggling, and the smell returns. So we're starting noping hard back for the car. We get there, and there's scratches all over them. Most of the windows are smashed out, and the seats are ripped to shreds. Whatever, that shit ain't important. Just need these babies to run. Toss keys into ignition, and hear the sweet, glorious sound of an internal combustion engine start up. Toss shit in, get in, and we speed out of there. Don't talk about it for a few months, and most of us don't admit it happened. One of the guys with us told me later that he'd seen Tom at the edge of the woods staring at us as we left with this creepy fucking grin on his face. I believe him. I know that I'll never go camping that far away again without a lot more people than 6. That was my first run-in with skinwalkers. The second one is shorter, but I'm tired. I need sleep for work. I'll share tomorrow night. Until then. And alright guys, that wraps up some weird stories from 4chan. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Would you like to see more 4chan stories in the future? And would you like longer videos, shorter videos, somewhere in between? Or what other videos would you like to see? More story videos or not? Comment down below. I appreciate watching to the end of the video. If you did watch to the end of the video, respond Snook Society. That's what I usually do. Snook Society if you watch to the end. And I'll heart your comment if you watch to the end and comment Snook Society. That'd be super cool of you. You're the best. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a good time. And if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll like others. So check out a few other videos on my channel, whether it's 4chan, Reddit stories, Reddit users, documentary, whatever. I'm sure you'll like it. So go check it out. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Welcome to the community. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching. This was Snook, and I'll see you next time. Bye.